All right, guys, welcome to today's class. So we'll be looking at introduction to AR, VR in UI UX design. So, um, we looking at this first clip that we have here. So, so we can see how VR AR is working here. So this is a Microsoft HoloLens, which is we can use it to interact with some elements. All right. So you can see currently now the lady in uh, the picture here. All right. This she is communicating with the elements. She's also chatting, viewing, and also working on some functionalities. All right. So this is what we are going to look at today. So let's see what will we learn today. So we are going to know the difference between traditional 2D interfaces and AV, AR, VR experiences, and also definition of type of VR means visual reality and AR means augmented reality. So you'll also be looking at AR, VR in UI UX design principles. Then we'll be looking at applications of the AV VR in industries. All right, please kindly notify if you can still hear me very, very well. All right, thank you. So what is visual reality? So it says that VR immerses users into a fully digital environment where they can explore, interact, and engage. So it typically requires headsets such as Oculus, HTV Vives, Vivix, or PlayStation VR. So example of this could be VR gaming, visual training environments. Okay. Then we also have types of VR. So if we see here, we have non-immersive VR. So this is the simplest form of VR. So you're looking at a visual world, but you are not inside it. So imagine playing the SIMS or a racing game on your laptop or PlayStation. So you control the character or cast in a 3D space, but you are still very aware that you are sitting in your room. So this is what we mean by non-immersive VR. Then if we take the next step to look at the second one, which is a semi immersive VR. So this is where things start to feel more weird, right? Instead of just monitoring, you might just have a large paranoid screens or high quality stimulators that will actually give you a partial sense of being inside the environment. So this a great example of this might be a flight simulator for pilots or driving simulators for learners. So the big screen realistic controls graphics that makes you feel partially inside the cockpit or car. But anyways, you still know that you are in a training setup. So now we take a step up and then look at fully immersive VR. So that this is one where most people are always excited about. So this is where you wear headsets like Oculus Quest, HTC, Vive or PlayStation VR, and suddenly you are inside another world. All right. So example is you put on the headset, look around, and then you see a different environment. You move your head, walk a little, even gloves or controller, and your brain is tricked into thinking you are really there. Whereas it is just a gaming and interface, and then you exploring the parameters of practicing a surgery. So this gives you a sense of presence in that particular um environment, or in that yes, that environment. All right, so we look at the next one. So the next one says collaborative VR, that's multi-user VR. So this is we can say that VR isn't just for solo adventurers, all right? It's not only for just a single person. All right. So sometimes multi people share the same uh visual environment. So examples are platform like VR chat or Meta Horizon Walls lets you and your friend meet up, talk, or even play together in a digital world. So think of it like Zoom, but instead of video boxes, you are inside a visual room together. Okay. And finally, we'll be looking at augmented VR. That's mixed reality. This is sometimes grouped. So this is something a little bit different. Okay. So instead of blocking the real world, it blends visual and physical together. So with Microsoft's HoloSense or Apple Vision Pro, you put on a headset and see hologram sitting on the deck. So maybe a 3D model of a building or a visual screen floating in front of you. Then you can interact with them while seeing your actual room. All right, so we're talking about using Holland Vision. So the next on our list is after augmented VR or mixed reality. So you're going to look into augmented reality. So that's AR. So say that AR overlays digital elements such as text, images, 3D models onto the real world through smart devices, smartphones, AR glasses, or headsets. So example is we have Snapchat filters. Most of us here we use Snapchat. Then we also have Kia Place app. So what Kia does is it helps you visualize how furnitures are going to be placed in your room. Please confirm you can hear me properly and there is no echo on the background. No problem, Theophilus. Please, anyone can respond. Let me know if you can hear me properly without echoing. Okay, thank you. So we are going to look at types of augmented reality. So we have marker-based AR, that's image recognition AR. So this type needs a special image or code, like a QR code, to trigger the AR experience. So think so example is you can have that you need to scan a product brochure with your phone, and a 3D model of that product will now pop up right on the top of the paper. Okay.
you just place your, it can be a QR code, it can be a 3D model of a particular product, whereby you just have to place your phone on it, and then that's, you now see it trying to talk, and then yeah. All right. So we also have markerless AR. So this is location-based AR. So this doesn't need any special code. Instead, it uses your GPS, all right, compass or sensor to place digital objects in real place. So we have um Pokemon Go, right? So this particular one is as you're walking down the streets and suddenly Pikachu will now show up in your park, all right? So this helps you in terms of navigating your way. So imagine you are going to a particular place that you do not know, and then you do not want to miss out while traveling back. So this helps you to actually go back to this yeah, to go back to where you actually um, started from. So also use look at projection based AR. So this is we said this is where the AR doesn't live on your phone screen, so it actually projected into real surfaces. Okay, so imagine standing on an interactive um, floor in museum. So where you step and then the fish swims away, or an actual AR board projected onto a desk where you can actually type by just touching the light. Okay, so this is what we mean by projection based AR. So we also have what we call superimposition based AR. So you said this one places or enhances what you see in real life with digital versions. So just as you've talked about the Kia Place app, so if you point your phone at the living room and a virtual sofa appears in your actual room, and then you can actually size it to fit. So this helps, let's say you want to purchase a furniture. So instead of you manually using the meter roll or actually guessing the sizes of where the chair is supposed to enter, whatever furniture you are buying is supposed to enter, you can just use the app, then get the exact sofa from the application, and then test it in your room. And that is what superimposition based AR does. So we also have another type of augmented AR to be outlining AR. So this is when AR highlights the edges or boundaries of objects around you. So we example, there are some cars that shows AR on the windscreen lane marking, all right? So it outlines building, and also directions are also drawn to show you where you are actually going to. And I think this is what this car is actually using. Forgotten the name though, but where it can drive alone cars, some of the drive alone cars now. So this is what it's using to actually monitor, and then you feel safe in this in the process. All right. So why does AR VR matters in UX design? So we have emission to be one of the reasons. All right. So normally, instead of just looking at screens, all right, immersion makes you feel like you are inside the action. Okay, so think of VR like teleportation. So it puts you on the headset, and boom, you think you are in the other world physically, whereas a it is just an imagination, or it is what VR does. All right. So example is we have VR tourist app, so you don't just scroll through Paris picture. So when you wear it, it will be as if you are actually walking down the Champs Elysees of Paris. All right. So we also have in Pokemon Go. So you are not just playing a game, but you are hunting creatures in your own neighborhood. Okay. So think of also you are actually watching a YouTube video. Then but instead of you just sitting down in your physical world to be looking at it, immersion is how it helps you look as if you are inside of the YouTube video that you are actually watching. Right. So if they will also have intrusive interaction. So this is tech that feels natural. All right. So this is where you now forget about clicking buttons and also drop down. So AV or AR or VR helps you use your hand or voice and even glance and things, and it look as if it is your life, as if you are actually doing those functionalities with your hands. All right. So we have an example that is Microsoft HoloLens. All right. So you can resize a digital 3D model by pinching your fingers in the hair. All right. So in visual reality sculpting, so you don't drag a toolbox, you literally mold clay in your box. All right, so we are going to, if you remember the clip I showed us at first, so let me see how I can easily go back to that particular clip. So if you look at this, this is what I mean. You can now see how this user is actually working with this 3D effect. All right, modeling it with her hands and all these things. She's actually doing it with the help of VR. So you can see the interaction that she is having with the interfaces, all right, around her. Okay, so let's go back to. So the third one is context awareness. All right. So this is a tech that that knows where you are, right? So this is when augmented reality understands your real world surroundings and blends digital stuffs into into it perfectly. All right. So Google Map is a perfect example of that. So Google Map AR shows you live arrow on the streets. So when you lift your phone, it will guide you, and then most times it can also help you choose um, where you are going to, the location, exact location. So let's say you want to buy a book also, it can also help you, direct you to a bookshop and closer to you, and whatever you want to do. That's what Google Map AR does, and a lot of things more than that. So we also have personalization. All right. So no one size fits all here, right? So AR VR adapts to you and your space and even your choices and your behavior. So the perfect example for this is the Kia app. So you can drop a real sofa lot into your real living room. All right. No matter the type of sofa you are picking, it will actually have to help you size it to the perfect room sizing. All right. Then you also have a VR fitness app, which changes the workout intensity depending on how much energy you are actually giving in and also how you are progressing while doing this. We also have accessibility, all right? So this is when tech is made friendly to everyone, right? So AR VR can break barrier by offering new ways to interact, um, great for people, right? So this are for people that can use traditional screens. Okay, so we have example as voice control VR menus, which help people with mobility challenges, and also we have a AR glasses, which can give audio clues for visual impaired users when they are walking through a busy street. So we also have at the number six to be emotional connection, which gives you the experience you feel, right? So VR and AR aren't just visuals that they make you feel present, all right? So that presence creates strong emotions that you can't get from flat screens. So we have a VR empathy project which can help you step into life of a refugee, right, making you feel their struggle. Okay, and then we also have therapists that use this VR to calm anxiety patients, all right, by putting them in peaceful and visual environments. So we also have a part of it that it makes memorable brand experiences, which makes marketing that sticks. All right. So brand knows that people remember experiences more than arts. So that's why they now introduce AR and VR just to make customers feel wild. All right. So we have Sephora's AR mirror, which helps you try lipsticks visually. We also have the likes of Nick VR showroom, which helps you walk around in sneakers before buying it. All right. Then also you have car brands, which even give you a VR test while sitting at home. So these are perfect example of when we say memorable brand experiences. So we have the Earth one to be innovative interfaces. This is where the fun part is, all right? So this is where UI UX becomes futuristic. So we don't have flat screens again. So it's just 3D spaces and gesture and voice commands, right? So we have example of it to be in a VR classroom. So you don't just read out a volcano. You can actually pick up and spin a 3D model of it. Okay. So also surgeons, all right, uses AR overlays that shows real-time patients data right on their vision. Then also have an example to be gamers use Auxilius controller to play with gesture instead of buttons. All right. So here we can now see that AR and VR aren't just cool techs or cool toy or tech toys. Okay, so they change how people interact, making experiences immersive, personal, emotional, and also unforgettable. So as future designers, as designers, all right. So this is what you'll be building. So let's see. We said that AR. This is when you add digital stuff to the real world, and VR. This is where it takes you out of the real world into a digital one. All right. So this is a summary of what AR and VR the differences. So together they transform design from boring screens into engaging, personal, and unforgettable experiences. So let's look at the AR VR UI UX principles, design principles. Okay, so we have one to be clarity in spectral design. So in AR, you are adding digital elements on top of the real world, all right? But here is a trap. So if you had too much, the users get overwhelmed. So remember, the real world is already busy enough. So that is what we talk about clarity in spectral design, all right? So imagine using AR navigation while driving. If the screen shows arrows, street names, restaurant ads, and emojis all at once, trust me, the drivers they will crash before they can even find their direction, their destination or direction. Okay, so instead, designers keep overlays minimal, just a clean arrow showing you where to turn, and also maybe some icons showing you locations of um, let's say it could be prominent places. All right. So the rules of this is keep it simple. Every extra element competes with reality. So the third one is accessibility and comfort. So in AR, users needs to actually read text and symbols over real backgrounds. Bright sunlight, reflections, or moving objects can make overlay hard to see. So in visual reality, comfort is king. Bad motions with design. So comfort is king. Bad motion design equals instant nuisance. All right. So example is in AR glasses, text should be bold and high contrast, not thin gray letters that can actually appear against the sky. Imagine wearing a AR glass and then looking up on the sky, and then you can't see what you're actually seeing. So in VR, roller coasters game. So if the camera moves unnaturally while the player is standing still, so their brain says we are moving out, but their body says no, we are not. So motions, that's when motion sickness comes in. So you also have a part of it to be design principle to be natural interactions. All right. So AR VR shines when interaction feels natural, not forced. All right. So if you need a 10-step manual just to open the menu, the design has failed. So example is if you want to rotate a 3D car model, and then users just have to grab it with their hands and then turn it. So don't hide the rotation button in a floating drop down. All right. High tracking can select object just by looking at them. Voice command lets users say open settings instead of fumbling with hidden menus. We also have another one to be user guidance. Why designing guide users? All right. So AR is still new to most people. All right. Unlike a phone app where everyone knows where to tap and swipe, so users often need help to understand how to interact in 3D spaces. Example, so we have VR game often started with a short tutorials. Grab this object, now throw it, good. Now you can now interact. So those are example of you guiding users. And you also have AR shopping apps that can use glowing outlines or arrow to show you where to place an object in your room. So the rules here is teach them, guide them, and reassure them with feedbacks. That's and with visual clues, vibration, or highlights. So another design principle is consistency across realities. Okay, so when even though AR VR feels futuristic, your design should still reflect the brand's identity. So if your 2D app uses specific colors, fonts, and logo styles, carry those into the 3D so that the experience feels connected. So example is Nike's VR showroom. It still uses the same bold typography and black and white branding as their website and their app, right? So imagine if Netflix in VR suddenly uses bright green and comeric SAS fonts. So would you think that is fake or true, or is actually the main Netflix? You actually feel yes, no, that this is fake because well, that is not the brand color or the brand typography of Netflix. So your brand should feel familiar whether on a flat screen or in an immersive world. So let's look at the applications of AR VR in UI UX. So we have retails and e-commerce. This is where we can use AR or we can use VR. So AR and VR have completely changed how we shop online. All right. So instead of guessing how something will look, users can now experience products in their real environment before purchasing it. So we have visual try on app, which helps you wear clothes, shoes, or accessories digitally using your camera. So think trying on sunglasses or lipstick in AR. Right. So that's how it helps. And then we also have furniture placements, so the Kia AR app, so which helps you drop digital software into your living room. Kia is one of the most popular applications. All right, I think that should be one of the first AR, one of the first, yeah, AR products that actually came out. All right. So if you look at this example, so we can now see over here that we have an, an application by your. This is an application. Then you can now see the user using it to try on a finger the ring she is trying to purchase. So you can now see how this is working, and this how this is actually helping. So the user can now try and see, oh, how will this enter? If I'm buying this size, also will it enter my finger? So you can now see that this is actually a perfect size for this particular user that is trying to test this product. All right, this ring product. So we another applications where we can use this is education and training. So AR VR makes education immersive instead of passive, right? So instead of just reading or watching, students can interact and practice in self-controlled digital environment. So example is you can have virtual labs where science students can run chemistry experiments in VR without worrying about dangerous chemicals affecting them. And then you can also have and AR anatomy studies. All right, this is where medical students can use AR to project a 3D beating heart on a table and walk around it, exploring details layer by layers, extracting what sort. So we can now see this is what looking at. So you can see how this is helping the medical students or whoever is using this view into this heart. Okay, you can see how it's zooming in, seeing where these things are being structured. All right, and then seeing oh where what is not supposed to be there, where it is, and the rest of it. Instead of using human to actually practice this on, so they can now do it in a VR interface or AR. This is going to be AR. All right. So we have another application to be healthcare. So in medicine, precision and comfort matters. All right. So AR VR is being used not just to train doctors. All right, but also to treat patients directly. So you can also have a VR therapy section So this is where patients with phobia, all right, that's fear of flying or spider. So they can face controlled, all right, safe VR scenarios just to overcome this fear of spiders, okay, or fear of flying. So you also have an AR surgical guidance, all right. So surgeons can see real-time overlay on patients' bodies during operation. This is where they can highlight arteries or tumor locations for safer procedures. Okay, so this is where you can see when this starts. You can now see um, if you notice, if you observe this particular video. All right, so I'll say you can now see that there is an hint here, grab things, or then you can now say you see where there is an hint there for users to actually click and then scale, and then from there you can actually rotate or you can actually walk. So that helps users in that are actually new to this environment in using this particular product. So you should not just design when designing it, feeling they all know it. Instead, while designing it, give them hints, all right, guide them through how they can actually operate the devices, how they can use it. So another application of AR um, or VR is in entertainment and media. Right. So yeah, AR VR truly shines, all right, making entertainment immersive and unforgettably. So this is where we are having gaming and also concerts or tourism. Okay, so if you look at this is a gaming stimulation, right? So this is what VR can actually help do, right? So you feel you are actually the one, you are inside it playing, instead of you just having a character inside that is actually playing this, but it looks as if even you watching it from here as a game, you feel you are actually the one, you are inside the interface. Okay, so this is what VR AR can actually help do. Then we can also see here a VR tourist app which helps you. It feels as if you are standing on this cliff now or on this mountain. Okay, so this is you. Let's say you want to travel to Paris. Okay, then instead of you just going to Paris for the first time, or you feel you might get lost in the process, you can just stay at the comfort of your home in Nigeria and then go through Paris, like just wearing it and wearing your glasses, your VR glasses or headset, and then it will take you into this particular interface, and you to feel as if you are inside of it. Okay, so we also have navigation. Okay, so this is when we are talking about movement. Okay, traditional map forces you to look down at your phone and try to interpret it and then actually act on it. So, but AR makes direction text away, right, by overlaying them directly on the real world. So we have example to be AR maps, which is owned by Google Maps. So this shows arrow on streets, names on your camera viewpoints, right? So when your camera points on a particular street, it shows you this is the direction you're supposed to go, or this is not the direction you're supposed to go. If let's say you're driving, it shows also those arrows. And also indoors navigation, we have airports or mall, which uses AR overlay to guide you to the right gate or shop without confusion. I think before now, there was a particular task I did one time, and we were asked to design an AR project. So what I designed was an AR that can actually help users um, locate a book on a shelf. Okay, so you can actually locate a book on a shelf. Let's say you found a book on a particular platform, and then you want to go and purchase it. All right. So let's say a bookshop owns that particular book app, and then you want to go and purchase it. So what the app does, it helps you after selecting it. When you are That's when you are in the building. Okay. After selecting it, it will now show you a call to action button that go get it or something like that, or any call to action button that can now from there to now show you arrow on how to navigate and also the distance on where to get it and where the book is located. Let's say it is two floor building, to now show you whether it's on the first floor or the second floor. So that is what AR can also help you, AR, in terms of navigation. So looking at this, so this is a Google Map AR. So this shows a user where to actually go to, right? So you can see that the user was actually facing, why it was actually facing the other direction, but it was now showing him with the use of this arrow that, oh yes, this is where you are supposed to go, this is the path you are supposed to go. So this is what an AR can actually do for users. So we have tools for AR, VR in UI UX design. So what are the tools you are supposed to learn in this? So we have Blender. All right, Blender is a tool. All right, so let's see. Blender is like a Swiss Army knife or 3D creation. So it's an open source software. So that means it's completely free, right? So you don't pay for it. So it helps you do almost everything in 3D. If you want to model a chair, you want to model a car, you want to model a phone, even a ship space, Blender can do it all right? So if you want to make the chair move, spin, or break apart in animation, Blender can also do that. So if you need visual effects like a film scenes like fire, smoke, or water, Blender handles that. So even advanced stuff like simulation, VR assets, or game ready characters, they are all possible with Blender. So that is one of the tools you have to learn if you want to venture into AR VR. So this is an interface of how that looks like, how Blender looks like. Okay. Then we also have Unity 3D, right? So this is very popular, right? So Unity 3D is not just a tool, so it's a game engine. So don't be deceived though. So when we say it's a game engine, it does not mean you use it for games alone. So think of Unity as an engine that powers interactive worlds, all right? So with Unity, you can take 3D assets, so maybe the ones you model in Blender, and make them come alive. So you can also build VR environments where users can walk around, explore, and interact. And you can also create AR experiences where digital content blends with real world through your phones or AR glasses. So it can even handles things like physics, how object falls or collide, or lightning, and how users interact, whether with hand gesture, voice, or controller. So this is how Unity 3D interface looks like. Okay. And also you can also use this is like I had said, this is what helps you test your AR building after you build it. It's called Oscillus Guest 2. So it is owned by Meta. So this is the most popular standalone VR headset out there. So that means there is no wire attached to it, and there's no computer, no external sensor. So you just have to put it on, and then, well, after which you are in a virtual world. So so he said, yes, why it's such a big deal for UI UX and VR design. So when you do this, you have freedom of movement, hand tracking and control, immersive experience, and easy um, deployment. All right, so this is how it looks like. So this is when we say Auxilius guest 2. So this is how it looks like. So we have other tools to include Spark AR, Lens Studio, Adobe Arrow, Tears Brush, Gravity Sketch, and then also Figma, which we are familiar with. And then, but this has to be done with the use of plugins too. All right. Okay. So don't worry. I will not. I might not. Okay. I might not bring this up in your text. Okay. So it's nothing you need to worry about for now. So let's see. Let's see. I think what I will do is in our next class. Because currently I don't think I have that enough percentage to take us to, we are going to look into how to use Figma to actually design an interface that can solve this problem. I'm going to take you how you can actually do it. So it's more or less not different from, let's say, your main UI. So you just have to tweak some things, okay? You just have to tweak some things and then make it uh JVK. Nothing is certain, okay? So I think that's where we'll end the class for today. So we'll continue on Friday. Before then, I think I will sort the challenge we had today. So let's see, let's conclude, because in the next class we'll look at a little short a short yeah, well, we'll look at a little design, how to actually use it, and then how to mix it with a plugins that can actually help you utilize that. So recap and closing notes. So designing AR and VR is not just about cool effects, okay? So it's about creating experiences that are clear, comfortable, natural, guided, and consistent. So when you respect these principles that we listed out, your design don't just look futuristics. They actually work in real world. All right. So you can say that AR VR isn't just about futuristic. So it's already transforming industries. All right. So from shopping to surgery, from classroom to concert. So these tools are making experiences more immersive, practical, and human-centered. So in short, VR isn't just one thing. So it's a spectrum from simple 3D game on a flat surface to flight simulators to full headset immersion, to multi-world, multi-user world, and even blending real and virtual with MR, right? So depending on whether we are designing for gaming, education, healthcare, or training, we are the one to choose which one best fits for what we are designing for. So I have some resources here that is going to help you. You always know where to get access to the resources. So you can go through this and then it will help you expand your knowledge on this. These are few resources, but there are other resources outside. Like if you want to learn Blender, you want to learn Unity 3D. I don't, if we want to go into that, 1 month will not be enough for us to, and I don't want to introduce something to us that will actually make us our mind blow. So we are going to just use simple Figma to actually do this part of AR VR. All right. So I will not introduce us to utility or Blender. Well, depending if we have an extra classes outside of this, then maybe we can look into that together. But before we go, is there any question from us so we can call it a night? Yeah, Theophilus is going to be a good experience. So let's see how we are going to do that. Okay, Theophilus. All right, so I feel there is no question again. So thank you for staying with us till the end, big end of this. So we'll call it a night. All right. So please, okay, let's see.